Another Betamax. This, I believe, is the model that came out a year after that other one I was looking at. I think it was the S43 or S44. Or is this? I think this is the S443. I don't know. This is the slightly newer version. This doesn't have a direct tune, it's just got presets. That's a little simpler. I believe it has VU meters though. Yeah, I can see some VU meters there. So in some ways it's a little bit newer than the other one I was looking at, but I believe this feature set's going to be a little simpler. Ooh, nice shiny buttons. And like the other one I looked at, this was available in black and silver. This is the black version. So all your hi-fi controls here. You can do your simulcast controls here. Timer, OTR. Yeah, this is very similar to the V600C that I have, except, you know, stereo hi-fi. And apparently this is a forehead model, so should have pretty good special effects. And speaking of the V600, and I think it was also an M42 it was sold under. Basically the exact same remote except black. It's in quite good shape. There's the cover for it, and the screws, and one of the channel numbers that appear to be falling off of there. So I think this needs a belt. Yep, looks like a Toshiba mechanism. Tape is sitting outside the cassette, so power. Oh, it does have VU meters. That's nice. Yeah, that flickering's only happening on the camera. It's pretty solid in real life. So it's flashing cassette. And actually won't do anything. Like, that's interesting. Let me try and move this back to the... Let me take the bottom off and see what the belts look like on the bottom first. Well, as far as playback is concerned, the capstan isn't gonna... Oh, no. Oh, why did I touch... Oh, good, I didn't get any on me. That's a goopy belt. Oh, that's a goopy belt. Gross. Alright, much better. Capstan flywheel's clean. Everything's clean in there. Got that out with minimal mess. Got a little bit on my finger there. I hate getting that stuff on my hands. Oh, it's so gross. But this isn't the problem. This is just for playback. So I'm going to manually unload that tape and yeah, see what's underneath. Just got a cheap Amazon belt loaded in there just for testing. So let's see what it does when I pull the tape out. Oh yeah, I guess I got to figure out why the tape's jammed still. Alright, that was tedious. Probably better I didn't film it. I just spun this little spiral gear until my tape came out. Oh, give me my tape. Yeah, this tape is eaten. It's catching on something in there. Come on. There we go. I'll wind that back in later. Raffi in concert with the Rise and Shine band. Oh, it's my childhood. Cool. So I think there's like switches in here that detect the tape. Like there's a little, you can see this wire here. Is this like a sensor or a switch or something? You know, let's go for broke. Plug you in and wind the tape up and try again. See what happens. Tape is wound. VCR looks happy, no flashing light. Let's see what it does. Literally nothing. When trying to figure out a problem, it's always best to take a step back and don't let yourself get into the reads. I started thinking, oh, you know, maybe it's a power supply issue. This does have one of those SDKs. Yeah, maybe it's the, you know, the portion that does the motors isn't working because it's acting like it's powered off. It's not seeing this switch. The switch is working. So I start pulling up the boards, which, by the way, this is insane. 4 stacked boards with cardboard in between. and wiring harness bundles just nightmare fuel. And then I'm like just sitting here, you think, and observing things, and I poked that switch right there. Now, this big rotary deal, I can't remember the exact term for it, was of course not fully in the unloaded position. So it was not pressing this switch, which basically is telling the VCR, don't allow a tape to go in because it could jam up against these pieces here. And that as soon as I did that, the tape started moving in. So let's get the tape again and see what it does. Oh, I gotta plug it back in. Oh, motor came out. So it's on. Now it didn't load the tape. Fast forward. It stopped. Why did it stop? Let's try eject. And it did exactly the problem before. So it started to move and then stopped. So this is where it was before. Tape goes in, starts to load, stops. And it doesn't seem to be an issue with this guy here, because I don't hear the motor going. I'm just going to pull this all the way back. So now that it's all the way back, can I hit eject? No, it's still faulted. Am I pressing that switch? It looks like I'm pressing that switch down there. Just make sure. Oh, no, wrong way. Yeah, so there's another switch or something that it's expecting to see right now that the tape is down and it's not seeing. Crap, I wasn't recording. You just missed it. All I did was unplug it and plug it back in, and then it loaded the tape. What the heck is going on here? Okay, let's go to the AV input on the TV and hit play. That head motor sounds super loud like that other Toshiba that I have. What if it's got the same problem? Like maybe the bearings need lubricating, or the rotary transformer is rubbing. Whoa. That's interesting. I tried to hit fast forward scan. What? Fast forward. Now it's working.
To sing a song or two, you with me and me with you.
Is that the head motor? Oh God. Yeah, that's not a nice sound. So it's acting a little odd when it moves between positions. It was doing that multiple times. Things aren't going on. Now this could just be dirty switches. It's expecting something to move and not seeing it, because it seems to be getting better. Oh my God, does that ever need lubrication? It's getting better. See, and it only did it once. It did it twice before. Well, I think the next step is to try and clean as many of these switches as I can find, these little guys here, and definitely lubricate this. This is just atrocious. Sounds like one of those Sony models. But it's working now. And I'll be honest, I don't know what I did. Okay, that was weird. It looked like it slowed down there. Let's try rewind. What motor is used for that? Is this direct drive underneath? Whoa! What motor is used for the reel tables? Man, that's hard to see under there. Let's get a flashlight. Yeah. Oh, I see some rubber bits. I see a rubber idler. While I've got this gear and belt out to give it some cleaning, you can see how this moves. This round gear that goes around. You can see it pulls the tape over to the erase head. Like that. And then you can see the pinch roller start to move around, and then it hits this. Why does it? Oh yeah, because the beginning of tape sensor is there, so you don't want the pinch roller to hit the beginning of tape sensor. And it goes doot 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 around, 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 and then gets stuck and hits this inconveniently placed wire tie. There by design, of course, of course. And it goes doot, 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 all the way around until it hits the everything is loaded switch. And then this little spring-loaded doohickey in play mode pushes the pinch roller in. You can see it's just pushed by, oh man, I'm so wonky in my filming here. That little guy right there. Had all this out, lubricated it. Turns out that little screw down there, you can take this whole assembly out. Much easier. And it also adjusts how close these teeth in the gears mesh. So what I found was to put it as tight as possible and then just back off ever so slightly so that these gear teeth mesh. And it's about as good as I can get it. I'm going to continue lubricating some more stuff, but I mean, I think that's about as good as it's going to get. Front loading mechanism is out. Very simple to remove. You unscrew a ground, disconnect the loading motor connector, and 4 screws. And we can see the 2 reel tables. So there's a brake. These are pretty cheesy brakes. There's a brake there. Brake there. Here's the... Could this be an idler or a pendulum? So directly driven from this motor, but it is still rubber. So something here is not quite working right. I wonder if I can fake this thing. Probably not, because that switch goes into here somewhere. And there's just so much more work to work on. Well, this is hard as a rock. There's no grip at all on that. Well, unfortunately I don't have one this size, so I tried sanding it and then using rubber renew. It really doesn't feel like it worked all that well. I might try a Dremel. I actually tried that based on a video I saw on a pinch roller, and on that Emerson VCR that I did a while ago. In that pinch roller, I just couldn't get anything out of it. Rubber renew wasn't working, sanding wasn't working, and I used a Dremel and just went zip up the top of it and took it right down to soft rubber, and it fixed the problem. So yeah, I might give this a try. Sorry, this is really not coming off on camera. Let's blow this out. There you go, see? It feels a little bit better, but not great. It's too late in the evening to be running a Dremel. I'll see if maybe this helps at all. Well, that actually made a difference. It's kind of hard to see the reel from over here. Fast forward. Rewind. I just need to deal with the horrendous bearings in this video head. Well, I had the whole head drum out. I was taking a look at it. I don't know how to disassemble it. I couldn't get the motor apart on the bottom, and I didn't want to force it. But there's definitely some bearing issues with this. And you can kind of see it. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's some side-to-side wiggle. That's odd. The noise went away. And then it just came back. And I wish I could get in there to put a drop of oil, because I bet that's all it would need. And I can't tell if it's the film transfer or the video itself being wiggly side to side. Otherwise, it's great. Audio's great. Video's great. I think it might actually be a two-head taking a look at that, because there's just the two head discs on it. But it's got decent special effects for Beta 2. I mean, that's more of a two-head than anything. If I grab the remote, let's see, where are you? You can do slow motion. Oh, there's slow motion. Okay, I was pressing the wrong one. So, I mean, decent. About the same as the V600 that I have. And, yeah. Maybe I'll do some test recording and playback on this just to show it. The tracking control's a little weird. These types of controls, I can feel the wipers getting all jammed up in it. I know Sanyo... See there? Look! It's quiet. The sound just went away. And this hasn't changed. And now we're back. Anyway, what I was going to say is that adjusting the tracking does nothing. I can... Whoop, there we go. This is to one side. At the very end, like the very end, this is me just going like there to there. I can get it to change. But the rest of it, it's in the middle. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say this tracking control is not the greatest. I can feel the same in the record level and balance. These were probably just crappy pots that they used, like that Sanyo. That's a shame. Well, I've been using this for a while. I watched a movie on it, watching some home-recorded cartoon tapes that I found with the Peanuts Christmas special, and now some other random cartoons, blah, blah, blah. It's quieted down. It's actually working really nicely. I'd say the only complaint I have is this touchy tracking control. And I guess the fact that all these switches show finger grease, that's kind of gross. It's really gross. Well, I've discovered a problem. Taking a look at this picture here, let's get it to not go crazy on the CRT, or even just look at the LCD here. Do the colors look odd to you? I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but it's just washed out. Oh, and this channel is just full of noise. It just, man, it's really not coming off on camera. It's completely washed out. I think Simpsons shows it best here. Yeah, like look at that. Look at how washed out this is. The line in and the tuner are just way overexposed, and also the tuner's getting weak now. So let me switch over. I'm going to leave it on this so we can see what it looks like with the color. It's pretty bad. In fact, you know what? Let me switch this over to the channel in real life. That's what it should look like. And instead, that's what it's looking like. Oh man, this camera's correcting it. It's proving me wrong. Anyway, I was going to try doing some test recordings on this, and everything's just way blown out. Like, let me hook up a VCR's blue screen to this externally. It's just exploding. Man, this camera does a good job making things look better than they are. I just moved this board and the picture just got good. Yeah, see, that's washed out. And then if I just smack it just right, it comes in. Okay. What kind of man wears armor hot dogs? Still haven't found it. I'm on to the next board. This is just wacky for service. I kind of like it. Look at this. Got little wedges to hold these boards when they're sitting up. I think I found it. Look at that. It appears to be doing a thing when I wiggle it. Let me just reflow that little guy. Oh, will you look at that. No problems at all. $1,000,000, man. It actually looks a little dark now with the way I have the camera set up. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now I can do test recordings. So that was a fun detour. I'm not sure how well this is coming off on camera, but even that line in looks so much better now that the automatic gain control is working properly. No longer washed out.
All right, Lightman. Maybe you could tell us who first suggested the idea of reproduction without sex.
Your wife?
You've got to find your pathway and not go halfway.
See, you don't have to be famous to get respect. You just have to be somebody. And that means being confident in who you are, being willing to take chances and risks falling on your face, because that's the only way you're going to learn.
want. But I do want. He leadeth me beside still waters.
It began here in Ireland.
Pork bellies. I knew it. I knew it.
Man, I forgot how bad film transfers used to be on these old movies.
So, I hope you enjoyed this fun little look at this Toshiba Beta VCR.
From, I don't even know, what did it say, 1984? It's cleaned up nicely. Ooh, very reflective. I cleaned out most of these VCRs that have a VFD. The sort of purpley lens that goes over it always gets a fog on the inside. And I don't know if you noticed at the beginning of the video, it was kind of hazy. I cleaned that fog out, which was in there really good. And what a difference. It's sharp, it's clear. In the video, you're just seeing me on a reflection, but in real life, it's just fantastic. And I am going to order new rubber for this one, because funny enough, I wanted to do some comparisons to the VS443C, the one that's a year older than this one. And it sounds like the Rew Idler has finally perished in that one. That one, everything worked out of the box, but it wasn't great. So I'm going to order a set for this one and a set for the 36. Full belts, because this has the original loading belt, which is working, but probably should be replaced. I put a cheapy, garbage Amazon capstan belt, which is actually working really well, and that's shocked me. And I sanded and rubber renewed the crap out of the Idler tire to get fast forward and rewind working. However, long term, not great. And of course that cold solder joint in the video circuitry for the line in and the tuner, that's working a treat now. So if I can go to TV, got all my TV channels. This one's noisy, hold on. Let me shut off the DVD player. Ridiculous. Yeah, so all the channels I want to watch. Of course, I can't forget the bearing noises from the video head drum that seem to go in and out, and the somewhat flaky tracking control. It's not perfect, but it's still pretty neat. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.